Hello, I'm Pafua Yang. Voting started Friday for the primary election. While some cities like New Hope and Robbinsdale started allowing in-person early voting on Friday, other cities aren't doing so until August. CCX News reporter Sonia Goins joins us with more.
Hi, Pafua. I'm at the Robbinsdale City Hall where on Friday people started coming in for early absentee in-person voting. Now, there are many options to voting in the primary. However, election officials are encouraging mail-in voting due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The primary election determines which state and local candidates will be on the ballot in the November election. Friday was the official start of absentee primary voting, and here in Robbinsdale, people can feed their ballot directly into the machine.
We have 7 candidates that are running for mayor, and then we have 5 candidates running for Ward 2.
There are new rules for people who come in person to vote. Robbinsdale officials want to keep election judges and voters safe during the COVID-19 pandemic.
You're not required to wear a mask, you're encouraged to. We have installed plexiglass here at the information counter at City Hall, so there is space between staff as well as the voter.
People can also vote by mail and track their ballot online. You can apply for an absentee ballot online or call to request one. To request an absentee ballot, you have to provide an email address and your ID number or Minnesota driver's license and the last 4 digits of your social security number. This year, Minnesota officials are seeing a high demand for absentee ballots for both the general and primary election.
We're at 207,000 Minnesotans as of today. And to put that in perspective, the comparable figure for 2 years ago and 4 years ago, the last presidential election in 2016, that number on the same date, same period in time, was not 207,000. It was just shy of 9,000.
Meanwhile, in some cities like Brooklyn Park, people can vote in their vehicles. The city is offering curbside voting for in-person absentee voting and on Election Day. And of course, folks can vote in person on Election Day on August 11th. We've got all that information on our webpage, ccxmedia.org. In Robbinsdale, Sonia Goins, CCX News.
Protests continue throughout the Twin Cities to honor the life of George Floyd. One of them was held Thursday in Golden Valley. CCX News reporter Delane Cleveland was there.
So it's been 1 month since George Floyd was killed.
1 month after George Floyd was killed by Minneapolis police. A large crowd gathered in Golden Valley on a pedestrian bridge overlooking Highway 55 to ensure that his death remains at the forefront of people's minds.
And hopefully people can see that people are still protesting this and it's not just going to go away until there's real change.
14-year-old Charlotte Lee is one of the teenagers who organized this family-friendly protest.
So right here we have just some paper and paint and stuff. People can make their own signs.
She's part of a generation of young people who have decided to take on an activist role to fight for issues such as police brutality and institutionalized racism.
After the George Floyd murder, I've never been more aware of it.
I want to take action. We need to take action, especially as young people. We're the next generation coming up.
15-year-old Ezra Hudson joined Thursday's protest with friends and family. While Golden Valley is a predominantly white suburb, Hudson says the large turnout to the event was an encouraging sign.
As you can see, it's a lot of white people out here, and we need them. We need allies out here. It can't just be us. Our voices need to be heard, but it needs to be a collective effort to get what we need.
And what they need, according to Hudson, is a world where they're not afraid of the people who have sworn to protect them.
I want to be able to walk outside and not be scared, you know? I want to be able to not be able to feel for my life every day.
One protest on a Golden Valley highway won't in itself create the change they're looking for. But what organizers hope is that their presence helps to initiate a conversation among those driving by. A conversation that perhaps one day leads to a more just society.
We need everyone to come together to push the movement.
In Golden Valley, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
It was a reunion described as magical, and it was a long time coming, but a Brooklyn Park woman helped make it happen.
Look at you shedding all over again, like fast.
For Katrina Sarla,
Good girl.
having a pet brings calm and joy.
Can you sit?
But one day, her pet, 2-year-old Rosie, gave her quite the scare. The Shepherd Husky mix ventured the streets for 6 months.
And it was like whenever I started to lose hope, there was always a new sighting or something to bring us hope.
Sarla's family was displaced from their Osseo home last year.
I would wake up at 8:45, December 16th, to my husband frantically screaming, "Fire, fire."
While Rosie stayed at a family member's home in Brooklyn Park, she wandered off into the unknown.
Baby, give me kisses.
Nowhere to be seen until Robin Jacobson crossed paths with the lone dog.
I literally was driving home, and about a block from my house, I'm like, whoa, is that a coyote?
Jacobson, a complete stranger to Sarla, had the sudden urge to bring Rosie home.
She took like so much off of us by just kind of taking over the search for Rosie.
I love you too.
The Brooklyn Park community rallied behind Sarla's family, setting up food stations, cameras, and signs.
That was the biggest part of it, putting up signs and just getting the word out there.
6 months into the search and out of ideas,
Such a good girl.
Jacobson and others built a live trap with residents on standby.
So at 12:30, on the nuts, on the nose, just, we got her.
She was like, "You have to come now, we got your baby." And I was just like, oh my God, I'm on my way, I'm on my way.
Emotions pouring as Sarla's family reunited with Rosie.
I don't know, it was like so magical.
Magical, because instead of one, Sarla now has 2 best
Where
friends.
she was doing her tricks.
Find more local news stories at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.